Anxiety can be so draining that we tend to lose focus, energy, and motivation when we experience it, to a point that we can get lost in ourselves and stop experiencing and enjoying life. Anxiety levels have increased over the years and it's so evident now more than ever. So, what can we do to battle those demons and to control our anxiety levels? I'm Daniel and welcome back. As somebody who struggled with high anxiety levels most of my life, I've tried a lot of things to try to control them just in order for me to live like a normal life and be happy. However, it hasn't been easy. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 4 tips that have helped me a lot through those moments where I experience high levels of anxiety, where I cannot focus, I lose motivation and have lack of energy. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you an extra 3 tips that I haven't implemented those into my life, but I do know that those have helped a lot of people, and maybe they will help you too. Tip number 1, stay active. This is one of the best things that you can do in order to feel better. Your body, when you exercise, releases endorphins and makes you feel better overall. To me, running has been my salvation. Running has helped me a lot, especially last year being the worst year of my life, arguably. And running saved me a lot in a way that if I didn't have that physical activity, I don't know where I would be. But you don't have to do running specifically. It could be walking, running, yoga, gym, whatever works for you. And you can do it as 10-15 minutes. It would be enough for your body to just feel better. Because here's the thing, the symptoms of anxiety are the fight or flight response, which floods our body with stress chemicals, and exercises burns up those stress chemicals and promotes relaxation. So staying active has always been key for people like you and I to decrease our anxiety levels and feel better afterwards. Tip number 2, identify your triggers. Some triggers are easier to identify than others. For instance, if you're about to give a presentation in front of your classmates or at work, you're going to feel anxious. A lot of us have fear of public speaking, and we get these stress chemicals and we feel nervous and we feel anxious, right? And whenever that happens, you can write that down, write on a piece of paper, write on your phone, write on a notebook what you're feeling at that moment, what you're feeling and why you think that it triggered that. As I said, some triggers are easier to identify than other ones. For instance, if you're going on a date, on a first date, you're going to feel that anxiety. That is just because you don't know what's going to happen. You hope that you like that person and the person likes you back and so on. But some other triggers or some other anxiety moments are a little bit more difficult to identify, or especially what triggered them. And I can give you an example that happened to me very often. I could be driving to work, I could be driving to a grocery store or to the gym, and I could be minding my own business, either listening to a podcast or music, and suddenly out of nowhere I would feel this pressure on my chest. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't focus, I would be overwhelming, and I would try to identify why I was feeling so much anxiety. And sometimes it's not easy to know exactly what a trigger. It's always a thought in your head that triggered that. Sometimes it's subconsciously. In those times, still write down what you feel, and you might not be able to tell what it triggered your anxiety this specific time or maybe tomorrow, but eventually, if you keep doing this, if you keep practicing that activity of writing down your triggers and identifying them, it would give you more awareness and it would help you reduce your anxiety levels and address them more appropriately. The third one, welcome humor. Humor has been an underrated piece of advice to deal with anxiety for me. In many occasions that I couldn't go out for an activity or I didn't feel well after writing down my own anxiety symptoms or triggers, I would watch a 10-15 minute YouTube clip of one of my favorite comedians, and that would just make me laugh. And laugh is just a happy hormone. It would release oxytocin, it would release all these chemicals that would help you to forget about whatever you're dealing with or whatever you worry about and enjoy that video, enjoy that comedy show. And last one but not least, practice self-compassion. That is a key one. If we ever talk to anybody, whether it's family members, friends, colleagues, you name it, the way that we talk to ourselves, we would be labeled as the worst scumbag in the world. Why? Because we tend to be cruel and harsh with ourselves. We tend to just beat ourselves up and burn ourselves in a way that is not helpful. But if we start injecting those positive thoughts, if we start injecting a little bit more kindness, right, into ourselves, right? If we talk to ourselves like we would talk to a friend of ours who's going through a harsh time, what we would do is just focus on the good things that that person has to offer, or the good qualities that person has, and we try to make that person feel better. We should do that to ourselves. It's not easy. I've been a victim of that. It's been hard for me to do it, but eventually, if you keep practicing, the more you try and the more you do, the better you get at it. So, to wrap things up, 1, stay active, extremely important. Whatever works for you, it could be walking, it could be running, it could be yoga, or it could be gym. 10, 15 minutes, you don't have to be there for half an hour or two. Just a few minutes a day would do wonders to you. 2nd, identify triggers and write them down. It's almost like you would be unloading that heaviness that you feel in your chest onto a piece of paper, and you can address it from there. Welcome humor, highly underrated. You would enjoy any comedy show, any funny video that you can find that will make you feel better, that will make you laugh. Last but not least, practice self-compassion. I cannot address that enough. Practice self-compassion. It is one of the most important things that you can do in your life. Now, to give you the 3 extra tips that I haven't incorporated into my life, but I know that it has helped a lot of people, are these. 1 is meditation. And I know it's hard. The few times I've tried, my mind is racing all over the place. I cannot concentrate, I can't focus. And I've been trying to incorporate that into my life, to be more mindful and to be more present, and hopefully eventually I'll get to it. The second technique is keeping a journal. It is proven that journaling helps a lot with your mental health. It provides you an opportunity for positive self-talk and identify those negative thoughts. It also boosts your confidence. It allows you to identify the triggers and what makes you feel in a certain way. The last tip is the 4-7-8 technique, which consists of taking a deep breath for 4 seconds, holding it for 7, and exhaling for 8. This simple exercise can bring you back to present moment, since your mind and your brain is focusing on counting those seconds and taking those deep breaths. So, once again, meditation, journaling, and the 4-7-8 technique. That's all for today. I hope you found this information useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.